Right. And then for the last part of this session, I have the pleasure of welcoming Geovana, Quadros, so please join me on stage. All right, Geovana, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure is mine, Judas.
I did hint to this session before when I said it's a perfect transition, but I think let's start with tell us about you and your project, and I think all will become clear.
So I am Geovana Quadros. I'm from Belém do Pará in Amazonia, and now that is about Amazonian COP30. So I have the first movement in Brazil of sea level that we arrange all Latin America. So in my movement, we have 10 years this year. We have the presence of big corporations in Latin America, such as Bank of America, Bank of Brazil, Sephora, Adidas, Microsoft, and many others. We are the partner of UN Women in Brazil. We also do many events internationally, as with Oprah Winfrey in Brazil. We are the partner for the events that occur there. We have one big event in the year that we recognize big names in different leaderships in finance, technology, and many others in Brazil. And we have the first forum of sea levels as well, where we get together as much as the main dues for centuries. So we are doing this for 10 years, and now we are getting to the next step with the projects we have. And beside this, I am in charge as a vice president of the Council of Women in Brazil for Industries and Federation of Industries in São Paulo. That is the biggest PIB in Brazil. I am in charge for the gender at ESG in Startup 20 for the G20. And now I am in charge of the Copy Plus journey with the Federation of the Industries in Amazonia. I'm from there. And we have the biggest movement concerned gendered for COP30.
Right, well, fantastic, and a lot of hats as well, a lot of work. Yeah. I would like you to tell us a bit more about Mulheres Inspiradoras, so the movement that you created. I really like how it can be an ecosystem for change, and maybe you can share with us a bit more, how did you come up with the idea, how is this helping to bridge business and impact with this particular model?
I think it's going to be very clear. I see a lot of women here today, some friends as well. So, how many of us are alone in the table? How many of us are alone in the table, have a 3 or 2 in the decisions? We are leaders and doing our work, and then we are only by ourselves as a leader. A lot of us, right? So as much as I got higher and higher in my career, less women I could see in the table, in the decision, in different segments. I've asked for different segments. And if you see in the percentage, we are very few. So we are alone in different segments doing our jobs and growing our careers. We are talking about over 50% of women in population. We are the mothers of the other 50%, right? And it's still, we don't have a representative in economy or social or political part. So the movement was according to, we have this group together for the first time. So we make a collective where we can do decisions together, and make a movement together, and bring more women in leadership positions. So this is the idea. almost of the movements you see in the base. So for the first time, I get them together to the top so we can make decision to help all the pyramids.
Thanks much for situating us with the movement. And I think to make it really concrete for the audience and maybe inspirational as well, I'm sure that through your work you get to a lot of stories that are inspiring, but female leaders are empowered and get to make change, to promote change in their organization. Is there maybe some stories that you want to share with us on how you created impact there?
Yeah. We have many different. When we are together, we can improve our sectors. So we have one of the movements that are working inside our collective that get into the menopause, 40 plus women. So this is getting to law in Brazil now because of our movement. Another one getting the collective for violence against women. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs, social leaders together in order to make a movement against the violence of women in Brazil. We have another 22 years old from Pará state in Amazonia that is doing a kind of brick with the shelf of the acai berry, you know. And she lives in a region that even do not have any kind of way of life. It's all garbage. So she gathered this garbage of the acai, turned into a brick, and changed the houses of her community. And in a very, very poor isle inside Amazonia. And this make a change for the whole society of this young lady. I put her in the event. Now she's turning to Forbes under 30 because one of the journalists of my event saw it, and she got investment. And with this investment, she's building a science school in a little town there down in Amazonia because she was in the stage together with all high leadership as well. So when we are together, we can change this movement to young ladies, to other societies that not being seen, not being heard until now. So it's many examples, but some of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many more that you can share as well. But I want to talk about the challenges as well, because it can't be easy to create a movement like this. And I think one thing that comes to my mind is it must be difficult to move from the initial impetus and it being a one-off to a continuous movement that evolves over time and achieves impact over time. So can you share a bit with us about what challenges have you encountered and what can you tell maybe to others that are on the path to creating ecosystems of change?
The first one, Julius, the first one is make we all together in the same community. We are doing alone in our different sectors, so which one you are doing alone. And the first thing is make them together and to see these issues about women together. So the first stage was get for the first time the leadership together. And now we turn into a movement to an ecosystem. So we to move from movement to ecosystem, a real community, we need to start to think as a collective, not individually. And as a collective, we start also to change habits, to make decisions together, and for sure to make a change in the community together. If you're doing by myself in finances and sustainability and I don't know, many different, but if you're doing this together and we have a power to change the numbers because we are so small in Brazil, we would even get into 60% of women in leadership. And if I am half of the population and I don't have a representative in this different categories of power, and even in Amazonia is even worse. So it's not a discussion anymore to talk about sustainability, new economy, and don't put the women in focus. And we are going to do this in COP30. We are not looking for the Amazonian women. So we get into there and it go by and that's it. So we have to get the opportunity to see the Amazonian women and to make a change in the Amazonian women lives. So this is the time, and we can make this together, I believe so.
Fantastic, and I think the two key words that really stick with me is to simplify collaboration, really, but getting all the stakeholders together, but also I think the importance of getting this affected or the relevant people in the room, such as the Amazonian women that you're mentioning, I think is key to any meaningful and lasting impact. So thanks a lot for raising that. You started mentioning COP30, and I want to continue on that thread because it's I think everybody in this room is looking forward to that towards the end of the year. It's seen as a big opportunity for governments and businesses to connect the climate, the nature, the people agenda. It's going to be in your hometown. How are you preparing for it, and what recommendations do you have for people who are about then to start the journey towards COP30 later this year?
I think we have a very big opportunity right now. The whole world is looking to Amazonia, right? And we have to take this opportunity to have our own narrative, not told by the others, because it's very easy to be by the others' narrative. So we have this opportunity. With these opportunities on focus, how we can change into the economy. We have a lot of indigenous people, indigenous women in difficulty right now there. We have a lot of our ecosystem and sustainability right now suffering. And these are the people that need the most. So how governments and business in a collective together can make a change there. As a leader of gender and ESG inside the Startup 30 into the G30 in the last year, we delivered a report for the government, and we passed by to South Africa this year. And now in my report, statement was I will make a program to develop the women locally, okay, with educational program from the government of Brazil already. And I have the Inspiradoras Women of the Year. There is a very big movement with television cover in my country. Instead of me doing in São Paulo, I live in São Paulo now, but instead of me doing in São Paulo, I'm gonna do in Belém. And the idea is we as mentors of these women in Belém, develop them, bring them an opportunity to have investment, bring them opportunity to make a very good, more inclusive program, working in STEAM, science, technology, where everybody says that not occurring in Amazonia, not occurring with women in Amazonia. So we have a program, we have a hub that is a house with many lectures. We have many institutional, international, very important together with us in this movement. So my suggestion was, if you want to know a little bit more, be together and make the change for our region and for the center of this conversation, I think the moment is now, and I invite you to enjoy us this year in November.
Thank you, and looking forward to that moment. I'm sure it's going to be an important one. We really hope so. To close the session, because we have limited time left, I want to get us back to where we started. So we started with Ali and with Alessa talking about how the times are turbulent in a certain way. The times are turbulent and for sustainable business and impact investment. And I'm sure that you're facing some of that as well. So I would like you to share if you have any thoughts or recommendation for the audience as they go back to their daily jobs. What's your thoughts about how can we scale impact now in this current environment?
I think when we are in a room like this, we can scale impact. Maybe it's just to you to see each other and in the next chair and see what the business they are doing and how can we do this together. In this morning, I was with Rome ambassador from the human rights of France in a meeting. And from this meeting, we bring together a project for leadership in public sector and private sector, and we do a very big thing in Brazil, for sure in the second semester, with this conversation of today. So I have to come over to France to have more impact for sure. Be here with you today is giving more impact for sure, because you live here for at least idea, how can I do impact from the seat where I am right now, the business that I'm doing right now, how I can make this movement. But without doing by yourself, why not to look for the person on your side, to look as a movement, how strong we can be if we are doing this decision together. Again, a movement become an ecosystem and a real community if you start to think collective, if you start to make the decisions together and change the society together. Thank you.
Right, great way to conclude. Please join me in a round of applause for Geovana.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining.